I was in my boutique helping a customer pick out a scarf when the text came in. It read, "I'm leaving you. Moving to Miami with my 20-year-old girlfriend. I've already emptied our joint account. Ha ha." My hands didn't shake. My voice didn't waver. The only sign that my husband of 12 years had just blown up our marriage by text was the slight tightening around my eyes. I wrapped the scarf in our signature silver paper, smiled at Mrs. Peterson, and only after she left did I type back a single message. Good luck. My name is Claire. I'm 38, and that was the most callous goodbye I've ever seen. But while Mark was probably patting himself on the back for his grand exit, picturing me crying on the floor, I was calmly locking at my boutique. Because what he didn't know was that I'd seen this coming. The signs were all there. Late nights at work that never matched his pay stubs, secretive phone behavior, suddenly hitting the gym, buying new clothes, trying way too hard to look younger. 3 months ago, I found a dinner receipt for 2 at a fancy restaurant on a night he said he was working late. That same evening, I opened a brand new bank account in my own name. The week after, when he suggested we simplify our finances by combining everything, I agreed, cheerfully. What he didn't know was that most of my savings were already moved. The joint account he emptied? It only had enough for him not to get suspicious. My real money was safe. So when his follow-up text arrived, "Don't bother begging, Melissa and I leave tomorrow. I'll send for my things later," I didn't break down. Melissa, the new receptionist at his office. I'd met her once at the Christmas party. She'd laughed too loud at his corny jokes, touched his arm when she thought no one was looking. Young enough to be his daughter, naive enough to think she was special. I didn't respond. Instead, I called my lawyer, the same one I'd quietly met with 2 months earlier when I first found hotel charges on our card. I told her, "It's time." "He just made his move," she said. "The papers are ready. Do you want him served in Miami?" "No rush," I replied. "Let him think he's winning first." Another buzz. Mark again. "I know this must be hard for you. You're not getting any younger after all. At least you have your little shop to keep you busy." My little shop. The boutique I built from scratch. The boutique that earns more than his middle management salary ever did. He'd called it a hobby for years. He had no idea it was my empire. That night, I poured myself a glass of good wine and smiled as I looked over the deed to my grandmother's house, the house I inherited and wisely kept in my name only. Mark always wanted me to add him to the deed. I never did. My phone buzzed again. Mark bragging. "BTW, I used the joint card to book our flights and hotel. Consider it my parting gift, LOL. Perfect. I called the credit card company, reported the charges as fraud, forwarded screenshots of Mark admitting it. By morning, their Miami tickets were canceled. Their fancy hotel reservation wiped out. The next day, my phone was on fire with angry texts. "What did you do? Airline canceled our tickets. The hotel won't honor our reservation." I silenced the phone and went to work. Friday was always busy, and my new shipment of handbags wasn't going to unpack itself. Later that afternoon, his mother called. "Claire, dear, Mark told us everything, how controlling you've been, how you're being vindictive now." I put her on speaker while arranging my window display. "Did he also tell you he emptied our joint account and used our credit card on his girlfriend?" Silence. Then a quiet, "Well, he said you left him no choice." "Barbara, I have his texts. Would you like me to read them to you? The ones where he mocks my age or where he brags about taking our money?" Another silence. Then she muttered, "He did seem a bit cruel." "Yes. And my lawyer has advised minimal contact with Mark's family during proceedings. Goodbye, Barbara. By Monday, Mark was served at a dingy budget motel near the airport. His luxury escape had already collapsed. His credit cards were maxed out, Melissa was posting selfies online, and my lawyer had secured an emergency hearing to freeze all assets. In court, the judge reviewed everything. Mark's own texts bragging about emptying our account, screenshots of him mocking my age, documented hotel charges. Mark squirmed, claiming, "I was just trying to make a clean break." The judge raised an eyebrow. By committing financial fraud? Then came his attempt to claim half my business. That boutique grew during the marriage, his lawyer argued. My lawyer smiled. It was founded before the marriage, funded separately, incorporated in her name only. We have records for every dollar. The judge was not impressed with Mark. All joint assets are frozen. Funds removed must be returned within 24 hours. And, Mr. Harrison, the court takes a dim view of using marital credit cards for affairs. Mark left the courthouse red-faced, muttering that I had destroyed him. No, Mark. You destroyed yourself. I just made sure you couldn't drag me down with you. Over the next year, while Mark bounced between his mother's house, failed relationships, and job demotions, my boutique expanded. 2 new locations, national press features, a thriving online store. His family slowly turned on him. His sister admitted, "We believed him at first, but then we saw the texts. We're ashamed we ever doubted you." Melissa eventually reached out too. She apologized, confessed how Mark had tried to move into her tiny studio after I froze the accounts, how he complained nonstop about the size of his closet, suggested she take out loans for him. She dumped him. Those weren't dreams. They were escapes. There's a difference. 5 years later, I stood at the grand opening of my 5th boutique. My employees, my customers, even local press, all celebrating what had become a small empire. And hanging framed in my office, Mark's first cruel text. "Have fun with your little shop. At least it'll keep you busy in your old age." Below it, my latest business award. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying the person who wronged you. It's building a life so successful, they can never touch you again.